Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Goffstown Sewer Commissioners' regular monthly meeting. We always begin with a roll call, and I'll start with our selectmen's rep.
Jim Craig, Select Board Representative.
Michael Trank, consulting engineer.
Tim Redmond.
Dave Pierce.
Lynn Pooler, Sewer Secretary.
Keith Canton, Assistant Sewer Foreman.
Corey White, Sewer Superintendent.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Daniel could not be here, our other sewer commissioner, and he notified us as such, so we'll begin the meeting without him. The first item on our agenda, as always, is public comment. If anyone from the public wishes to speak, it's public comment time. There is no one here to speak, so we will move on to the approval of the minutes. We have two sets of minutes. One from October 10th. I have not read them, unfortunately, so I will not make the motion. I would move forward with a second if someone else has read them. Or we can
Yep.
save them until next meeting.
The minutes are rather straightforward, so yes, I read them.
Okay.
So, motion to approve the minutes of October 10th.
Second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
And a
Everybody else here?
motion to accept the notes taken for our workshop.
Okay. I'll second the motion. Any discussion on the motion?
On October 17th workshop.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Both minutes are taken care of. Old business, we have an Albert Street sewer.
Vote new business.
Oh, sorry, went right past it. New business, the December 2023 semi-annual billing warrant and vote.
So the bills, the sewer bills will be going out tomorrow. You have the warrant before you with the amount of money. Dave is going to make a motion.
Well, thank you for
Let's
reminding me.
vote on them independently. Let's vote on
Yep.
the bills first.
Okay, well,
Whatever happens after that is a different.
well, no, it's all the same. It's all falls with the warrant. That's all you make the motion. The warrant is the
The
bills.
warrant is
The bills.
2,000.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Motion to approve the November 2023 sewer tax warrant in the amount of $728,791.80.
Okay. I will second the motion in the amount Dave mentioned. Any discussion on the motion?
That's rather a thick packet to listing all 2,000 and something customers there.
So is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ren. Old business, we have Albert Street Sewer, which is, we're gonna go to Mike Trank.
All right, thank you. Bids were open, bids for construction of the Albert Street Sewer Project were opened on Thursday, October 19th at 2 p.m. There were 4 bidders. And I sent a letter on October 27th. I don't know if you made copies of that one.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Basically, it summarized the bid results, listing the 4 bidders and their respective bid prices.
So let's stop right now. If the commissioners don't have the amounts in front of us, how are we supposed to act on this thing?
I can go
I would appreciate that.
grab that.
Make copies of this. I should have brought copies.
Mike, oh, you don't have it in front of you anymore.
This is
So let's leave Albert Street alone. Can you move on to East Union and Riverview? Oh, Lynn's got to take minutes. So I guess we're in recess for a minute here, folks.
So, Mike, you're
Sure.
Gulftown TV, resume filming, thank you.
They never stopped. We never adjourned the meeting.
Oh, well, it was off.
The light was off?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, GTV. Didn't look up.
So we received 4 bids. The 4 companies were B&B Excavation LLC, Niskota and Murray Excavating LLC, Endrenice and Sons Inc., and SUR Construction West. The lowest bid was B&B Excavation LLC out of Northwood, New Hampshire. Their bid was $246,050. The next highest bid was $292,260, and then $297,080, and then SUR Construction West had the high bid at $418. So I evaluated the bids. I did a little bit of checking around, and based on that, in the letter I'm recommending the award of the construction contract to B&B Excavation LLC of Northwood, New Hampshire, in the amount of $246,050.
And you checked their references and spoke to their customers?
Mhm.
Who are their customers, Mike, some of them?
Primarily, they're development type projects. They were, in some cases, sub to a much larger contractor. They've had projects, $2 million, $3 million. But all the feedback I got was very positive.
Okay.
Were there any concerns on the starting date?
I actually talked to them this afternoon about that, and it's really up to them, and their thinking at this point is that they'd probably like to start in the spring.
Good choice.
The time of year it is. So, what I told them is we could execute the contract now, but in a notice to proceed, have a start date of like April 15th or something like that. The other way that can be done is to actually award the contract and then execute a change order, stopping the clock, if you will. But honestly, I don't see why we couldn't just put a start date and a notice to proceed sometime in April.
Well, I would like to ensure us that we're going to have them do the job and save time in the spring and not take a better paying job and say, well, we can't do it now because they didn't sign a contract. So I would be inclined to want to execute a contract and then change to a change order which locks them in.
And that,
I think you can sign the contract.
that helps us spend the money in this year's budget, which we're supposed to
Yeah.
spend.
Yeah, exactly. I think you can execute the agreement and get all the paperwork signed now. And I think, like I said, we can just put a notice to a start date, commencement date, and a notice to proceed. Pick a number, April 15th or something like that.
Or any time prior to that they can do it.
Yeah.
Because I do know, when we talked about Louis Street, that the DPW made a clear statement that if they wanted to work during the winter months, they had to assume maintenance of the road for those
Right.
winter months. And I don't know that they want to assume maintenance of the road. They
Probably
can't,
not.
and they can't get asphalt.
Right. But
Well, they
you
can, they have to go all the way to Drake it to get asphalt.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So, and this will lock the price, and they will not be coming back at us with price changes due to pipe changes or anything like that.
Right.
Okay. All right, what's your consensus, Dave?
I'm
You ready, Dave?
ready for a motion?
Okay, so, any discussion from Corey or Keith on this topic? Because they're the ones that have to go out and handle this project.
You still have to meet the residents on that street.
We haven't had our public meeting yet either, which I wanted to have. We did not have it yet, and I intend to have one at some point, because this way that we can address any of their questions, document their sites prior to construction, document all their driveways, their front yards. Didn't we do a video of the last one, Corey?
Yep, I took a video before they started and a video after.
I appreciate if we can do the same thing on this one.
Yep.
So did you, on Lewis Street, you met the residents before our public meeting at Bartlett School or after?
I actually went through the neighborhood and talked to, it's very easy on Louis Street.
Yes.
If you park the truck, everybody comes out. So that one was great. People were, for the most part, like, great to deal with. One particular house wasn't, but we got through it. I know some of the people that actually live on Albert Street and
I actually do too. I know one resident on that street.
at the end. Yep.
So I would suggest to the commission and to this, that we have Lynn take a list of the names of the residents on that street. And since there's going to be a very small amount, I would suggest that we ask them to attend our next sewer commission meeting, and we would have an open discussion on the subject, that they could ask questions and we could address their concerns. We did it at Bartlett School the last time, and we had a very small turnout for Bartlett School opening the school up for us and making it available.
Yeah.
Could we schedule that for our January meeting?
That's what I was thinking, because December is kind of,
Well, we're gonna execute the contract, but we're not gonna start work for a couple of months after that.
Yep.
So I think it would work if everyone concurs that the January meeting would be an appropriate time to invite the residents of that street to come and see we have a plan, right? We can show them the plan. We can tell them what we're gonna do, we can tell them how it's gonna affect them. We can explain how we're gonna do services to their property lines, we can tell them what we're responsible for and what they're responsible for, and be upfront with them from the get-go, and make sure we document yards as well. And we
Yes.
can tell them we're gonna document the yards.
Luckily, that street is nothing like Louis
No.
Street.
I know, it's much different.
Now, where do you want this meeting?
Right
At?
here.
In here?
Right
Okay.
here. We'll have it as the first agenda item after public comment to
Okay.
have a meeting with the residents of Albert Street to discuss the sewer project.
Good.
Good. All right, do you have anything else, Corey, that you're concerned with?
So I'd like to make a motion to award a contract to BMB Excavation located in Northwood, New Hampshire, in the amount of $246,050 for the purposes of Albert Street sewer replacement project.
I will second the motion. Discussion of the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? Motion passes. So, Mike, would you please notify this company that we intend to execute our contract and then a change order giving them allowing them to start in as late as April 15th in 2020.
I did bring a notice of award document. I
Okay.
have to sign that.
They did state that Brooks providing the bond and performance bond and payment bond.
Yeah, they'll provide all that. 100% performance bond, payment
And do you,
bond.
what is our insurance threshold that they have to meet?
Oh, I forget. It was in the specs, but
Well, all right,
they
it's
provided.
in the specs, okay.
Yeah, they'll provide us an insurance certificate.
So Dave, do we have to have a motion to authorize me to sign this, or by accepting the bid, that it does it? I think just by awarding the bid.
Now,
I think
and
that's- all right,
the
that's fine.
proper thing is that my motion included to authorize the chair to sign.
I'll amend my
On behalf of the
second.
commission, you can make that amendment to the motion.
Amended my second.
Actually, I'll take both of them.
Just in case you want to read it, Dave, for any reason.
So what is that called again?
Notice of award.
And then you'll send copies to Lynn as necessary?
Yes, yeah, I'll send it to the contractor to, there's an acknowledgement part of this that they have to sign.
All right, so while we're on, since we've concluded Albert Street at this time, what is our next project, Corey? Do you know off the top of your head?
I just can't think of the name of the street. It's actually after Albert on the left. It's the next street that goes all the way through.
Is it, do you have an approximate footage on that?
It's sort of 650 feet, I think,
Okay, and what is Albert Street, 400 and something?
458.
So,
It's
470.
half
So-
what Lewis was 1,200. so-
can I press the button to have you guys start working on the next project as soon as possible? I mean, like, immediately? Like to get the bid out in the springtime this year, and maybe we do both projects in 1 year, if we can find people to do it. But we need to get back on track with our engineering, you know, only because we don't have Mike here to do it all in-house
Yeah.
for us. It takes Mike a while to get his people to do, you know, the surveying and everything else to get that done. So I'd like to really start full court press on the next project.
Yeah, in fact, this contractor, when I spoke with him today, asked if there were other projects coming up. And I said, well, I'm sure that'll be part of the discussion at the meeting tonight. so.
Yeah, we have like 5 or 6 more to go before we're out of the flats, right?
Mhm.
And that's the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, obviously they were looking to get other work
Yeah,
nearby.
I'm sure we'd love to see how they do on this one, and
Yeah.
we can go from there. All right, Mike, second is the East Union and Riverview Park Pump Station update.
That project is underway. They've got, I think, the entire roof
The roof is stripped
torn
and,
off the building.
yep,
East Union,
yep.
Yeah,
where we have a blue roof on it right now?
No, they actually, they tore the old section first, and they were waiting on their dumpster, so it kind of worked out. They piled everything on the back, the newer section, and they were able to clean up what was there. There was actually PT underneath, nobody actually expected that, and it was all in good shape. So they were able to seal it up for the night with their, the first piece of membrane they put on to make
That's it.
it watertight. And today they tore the back half off and put the membrane on to
How
make it.
bad was the back half? Same thing, it was good?
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
How old is that roof that would have PT under it?
I'm gonna say 80, 87, 88?
That's good.
Because when they put the addition on is when, I think the last time that roof was done completely front and back.
yeah, it would have been 1980s.
80s. I knew it was the 80s. If I remember, I was looking at the pictures. There's pictures of it in there, and it was like 87, I think.
Yeah.
So it's good that we're getting the roof done before the winter gets here.
Absolutely, because they
Yeah,
found,
that was part of the deal.
yeah, part of the fascia, when they pulled the fascia off around the chimney, there was a lot of rot actually behind that one spot that'll get fixed.
Okay.
And it makes sense why it was so stained on the inside of the wall.
This is Sherburne, right?
Yes.
So they are going to do the roof, and then what else are they gonna do over there for us? The CMU work?
Yes, there's replacement of one wall. There's 2 doors that need to be replaced.
Okay.
Then a few other repairs here and there.
It'll look a little different than it does now though, when they're done. Because,
You mean the exterior facade?
yep, because we did a little research, where it was cracked on the inside.
I think Mike informed us.
Yeah, it was, there's no,
Something different going on.
yeah, it was very interesting.
So they're doing something different, gonna have a different look?
Yep, they're gonna actually saw cut that whole section of wall out, drop it out, and we're gonna frame it in, and it's gonna match where the windows are.
So it's gonna be conventional framing as opposed to concrete block?
Yep. So it'll actually look the same on the right-hand side by the windows, and the left-hand side, it'll be cedar shake. Back to
And
way.
you're dressing up the other side where the office is, you're telling me?
Yep, because above where the windows were, whatever that fake brick stuff was all peeling and pulling off, so they're gonna pull that all off and see how bad, because the water had been running behind the fascia and behind that. So there's probably gonna be some damage behind it. Maybe not, but
So hopefully we'll have a little trade-off if they had money in the budget for the understructure, that you found good PT, that they didn't have to
Yeah.
Or is that a lump sum, like regardless if they found something they didn't have to replace? Or how was the language, do you remember?
The items in the contract are pretty much lump sum.
So if they don't have to replace the wood, did we get any kind of a credit on our bill? I mean, is anybody even thinking about that? Was that included in their bid?
I don't know.
Well, they weren't aware of it at the time.
No, were they supposed to replace the wood under the,
I don't think anybody expected there to be wood underneath it.
I
Right.
see,
I think everybody thought it was right on top of
The
the
concrete.
concrete.
Right,
okay. All right, so that's a benefit to us.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, actually, it's more work if anything.
Good. Anything else to report on that project at this time? Let's stick with the pump station.
Yeah, we're trying to have a pre-construction meeting this week, but because of various
Everybody's
schedules,
schedule.
I think we're gonna go to
On what project, Mike?
the East Union Street and Riverview Park.
They've already started work, we haven't had a pre-con meeting yet? Isn't that a little out of order?
No, because they needed to get the roof done, so
Mhm.
we give them the go-ahead to do that.
Okay. That's fine.
But I think that'll happen Monday.
Are they expecting to wrap this all up before the bad weather hits? Is that their
Yeah,
goal?
that's the goal.
At least the roof on East
Well.
Union Street, yeah.
I don't think they want to pull the wall out in January.
No, they're just waiting for them to get the first section, the front section of roof done. And when they're doing the back, they're gonna come in and saw cut and drop that wall out.
What do they have to do, support the wall on the inside somehow?
Nope, it's not a non-load bearing wall.
It's
They'll
not.
shore it up just in case and some spots on the inside. But they plan on, they'll put a couple supports in, cut it out and frame it in same day.
What's on the other side? Is it,
Just storage. That's
no, I
our,
mean, where your office is it metal frame windows and,
yes.
so are we getting metal frame windows for that side or?
Nope, just straight. They're gonna just close it all back in like it was.
Oh, there's not gonna be windows on that side?
No, I'm just
Oh.
saying, like, the facade will, above the windows will match.
Okay, good. I was under the impression we're having windows the same as the office side.
No need to put more windows.
Okay, good. All right. Dave, you have anything else for East Union? All right, so you can move on to the other half.
Riverview Park won't be done until next year because of the lead time on the building structure.
And Sherbon is also gonna do that for us.
That's part of the contract.
So they're gonna be looking for payments on the work at East Union as progress, and you're gonna work that out for proportional payments for work
Mhm.
performed?
Right. Yeah, one of the things we're gonna go over when we meet with them is the schedule of values.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
I
payments
trust
will
you
be
guys to
based,
handle it.
will be based on the schedule of values.
I always stick my nose in, but I'm just throwing
your job.
stuff around. Okay.
I'll close out project discussion. In the warrant we signed, Lynn, for paying bills, did that include that our payment to Public Works for the one half of the base payment on Lewis Street?
I don't think we paid them. I think there was an internal
Yeah.
transfer of funds, and they gave us the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Instead of-
were making the payment and DPW is
Yes, they're
paying it back.
They're contributing 153
Right.
something. We pay 22,000 something.
They
Yeah.
haven't done that yet. I just saw it was at the discuss study the last week's selectmen's meeting. or-
night.
Last night, so
Yeah.
they just got the permission from the select board to do that.
There's
And
no official motion than us concerning both.
There's no motions to be made. This is
Yeah.
just a fund transfer and within finance.
But,
What's-
yeah.
What was the agreed upon DPW number at the end? 130?
That was more than that, 137, 150?
Yeah, because by the time you deduct ours, it's 137 or something is the difference. And you select, and the select board authorized that transfer to the sewer department. Okay. So we'll just be looking for you to make sure, to see how Danielle transfers it and know that it gets,
Mhm.
Thank you, Jim.
let us know when. All right. Anything else on either of those projects?
I don't have anything. Unless you have
Okay, Cory?
questions.
So, let's just hang on for a second with this. We talked about our next project for the sewer line replacement. Do we have other building projects that are jumping out at us at the time, or are we in good shape regarding structures in your opinion? We don't have any other structures that need repair at this time? We just finished Elm Street, Riverview Park.
Yep. Moose Club Park is in great shape. The only thing Moose Club Park may need in the near future is the furnace, because that's original to the building.
Well, why don't we get that replaced ahead of time instead of waiting till it breaks down and you have to get a portable heater down there?
So Rudy, who takes care of all the HVAC stuff, was here last week and he went through all the buildings, checked all the furnaces and all that. So I'm waiting to hear back from him to see what he thinks about that one, because we talked about it last year, because they did a bunch of work to it. There's a computer board in it that runs the furnace that actually the thing just melts down. It's been fine for the last year, but they can't get the part anymore, so when it fails.
Is it a propane-fired furnace?
Yes.
So let's get Rudy to give us an estimate. Is he our sole vendor? That
Yeah,
we
he's-
can use our clause and not put it out to 3
Yep.
bids?
He's the only one that touches those buildings,
All right,
whether it be
so-
electrical in, like East Union has. They're super efficient, and it's, inside that building is super confined because you have the generator is actually inside the building on that one, and the heater is right here. So there's like no room to work.
When the generator fires, it fires inside the building.
Absolutely. That's
So are
an
you talking
interesting
about-
setup.
Are you talking about running air conditioning in the summer and heat in the winter, or just the heat only?
It can do both, no matter what you buy, it'll do both. We don't have to run AC because we're not in that space for long periods of time.
I'd like to have a little information on the pros and cons of the mini split versus a standard gas-fired furnace.
Yeah, the big thing for the gas-fired furnace, they're bulky. And if we can get something on the outside of the building, like a mini split would be, you could actually have room to actually, because when like power up generator comes to service that thing, if you're any bigger than me, you're
How
not doing
old
it.
is that pump station, Corey?
1991, 1992?
Yeah, I think so.
Should we be looking at getting the generator out of the building and into a separate structure?
I would be all over that.
I mean, why not?
It's just it's really odd. And it's like, we can't test that generator. You have to shut the entire building down. Like when power up comes, they'll actually test it because you have to go into the cabinet and actually manually shut everything in that building down, because once you start that generator, it's instantly powering everything. There's no transfer switch.
Is the Moose Club one right next to the rail trail?
That's the one on Channel Lane at the bottom of Moose Club Park. It's right on the river.
What is the one that's next to the rail trail?
I guess you can say that one's next to the rail trail. It's,
Because when we were down there, Dave, I thought I saw a pump station down there.
you
I
can,
guess I'm
I
wrong.
guess you might be able to see it when you walk. No, you can't see it from the rail trail.
Right. Is there one down there, the Manchester Goffstown line?
Yeah, that's a metering, that's the Manchester metering station.
That's the Manchester metering station.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the building I saw.
That's close to the bridge.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, never mind. So, what is the building made of in Moose Club Park, Corey?
I think it's
Concrete block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be anything at all to contract out an addition, to move the generator into an addition, into a separate area.
You
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
not,
to do
it's
that.
not a very big generator.
You could honestly do exactly like Elm Street Pump Station. It's a set of standalone on a pedestal right outside.
Well, then we need to start you need to start working on some kind of a plan to bring to the commissioners, to get that done, get that generator out of that building, and get the heat done, do it all as one bang-up project, get the whole thing done in one shot if we had. No, I guess you really can't, because the heating guy is not gonna
I
do
think it was put inside the building more for aesthetics than anything else.
it. Is it in the
And it's
neighborhood where it would be?
It's a separate room, it's a completely separate room.
The generator?
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's,
Oh, no.
No, it's like-
I'm thinking of the wet well entrance.
yeah, the wet wells, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could stick the generator
Is it,
outside.
was it for noise to not affect the neighbors?
That definitely isn't. When that thing fires up,
Yeah, it's pretty
it
loud.
is loud. The propane powered one At Elm Street, you can hardly hear.
And how many KW is that thing?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. It's enough to run 480.
And it's how old, same as the pump station?
Oh, it's old.
Well, we really need to start.
It's an old 4-cylinder propane Wisconsin
Yeah,
motor.
it's an
We need to really start looking at upgrading these systems before they fail on us. So who is the one who does the service?
Power up generator.
I've seen them all over the place. Could we get them to quote us and get them to quote you something? We also want to get a small block building built. Like unless the new one's going to be quiet, then we can put it on a pad outside.
It's gonna be the same amount of noise whether it's sitting outside on its own or in a
Yeah, but a
building, 'cause
newer
it runs-
generator, not noisy as the old Wisconsin.
No, and that's the thing.
True.
The old Wisconsin is stupid loud, but you still have to the most noise that comes out of the one on Elm Street is the exhaust.
Well, we have to,
And you can get different types of silencers on these.
you can get them, but if it's not going to exceed the decibel level that's allowed in the town, we're well within our rights to put it outside. And if worst comes to worst, we can put a screen around it if we have to, a stockade fence around it if it becomes objectionable to the neighbors.
Yeah, that one actually has green slats all in the fence, so you can't see in anyways.
All right, so would you please work on 2 bids, one from the contractor to replace the furnace, and 2 from Power Up to upgrade a new generator and transfer switch and all of the things that have to be done, and let's bring that into the 20th century.
Done.
All right, thank you for that. All right, the next item on our agenda is the St. Anselm College sewer fees. They're not here this evening. Dave, do we need to discuss anything on this tonight, or would you like to discuss it as a commission tonight?
Yes, I'd like some discussion.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you start off then.
Yes. We currently bill them 275 treatment units, which is 110,000. We have announced to them, based on using the New Hampshire DES table for flow rates, that using their student data and employee data, 425 treatment units would be appropriate in the current situation. And of course, at our current rate of 400 per treatment unit, that's $170,000
Annually.
annually. And that's a 55% increase. Of course, you know, we're making up, this agreement expired 23 years ago.
Yes.
Neither party, us or the customer, chose to renegotiate it, so, you know,
Okay.
maybe 55% of, you know, the neglect over 23 years, 55% might be appropriate. But if there's significant difficulty in justifying that 55% increase, I do have a rational discussion on perhaps taking 20,000 off that bill.
No, I don't want to take anything off of it.
Okay.
So
So
I don't want to
I
start cutting. They've had such a good deal for so long, and I think in our discussion, which we have not really had vocally yet, we do not count for anything for them for events,
Mhm.
whether it's political events, whether it's the Dana Center for theater, whether it's the cafeteria area for parties and retirement parties and everything else. We don't count the sporting venues, and every time the toilets get flushed at a sporting venue. So they really are getting a good deal by only using their student and professor data. So I really don't think we really need, for any reason, to start
Okay.
backpedaling.
I just, I am comfortable with an option that possibly would take $20,000 off that annual bill, and just like our announcement of 170, that was strictly based on the New Hampshire table.
Right.
Flow rates.
Based on our
It's a, you know,
sewer use ordinance data?
and sewer use. And, you know, that whole business method is a theoretical flow from a customer.
Right.
whether the customer exceeds that or is dramatically low, that theoretical load for a customer is really the whole base. It's, what am I trying to think of the right? It's an equitable distribution of how we bill our customers. And that's the important word. How we bill our customers has to be an equitable method. And our reliance on the New Hampshire DES table accomplishes that fact.
So Corey, I asked you to tell us what their annual metering amount was. I brought that chart you gave us somewhere in my packet here.
That, I have that figures too.
And what was based on their meter, here it is right here. Based on their meter, 12 months was 25,907. Average gallons per day average is almost 71,000. Now, August bill was 10,000 gallons. Corey, what did you determine based on your investigation, based on that 10,000 gallon number for August of '23?
It was an error when it was entered in on Manchester's end. Somebody added a 0 when I emailed Chris Crowley, who's in charge of actually reading that meter, and they're going back and looking at
Past
the
numbers.
past to try to right that.
So the data error should have read 1077,
That's what it looks like to me, like they added a 0 in there.
and that would be the exact same number as July, and that's odd for me.
I noticed that too. Yeah. But, so,
So technically, if we give them the benefit of the doubt based on the data, it should be 9,000 gallons less than 25, which puts it at what, 16,907?
That would make sense, yeah.
So 16,907. Now, did you get public information on Manchester's sewer use rate based on your gallon discharge?
I did, and I sent it to you and Dave.
Okay, so what was your determination of what the charge would be in the event that they did that?
It ends up being, I
Here it is right here. You want it?
sent it to Dave.
okay. I have the mathematics on that.
Okay, let me have it,
Tim.
please.
Ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Corey had a flow rate for 5 days of
Mhm.
measurement. It was expressed in gallons. And so when you, if you were to convert the gallons to cubic feet, and you would convert that to hundreds of cubic feet, and then the result would be 100 cubic feet units, 148 as a daily flow.
That's daily.
Daily, 148,
Cubic feet units.
right, 100 cubic foot units. And you multiply that times 4.25, $4.25. The daily cost is $629. The annual cost is $230,000. I am reluctant to fall on my sword for a 5-day
Average?
observation.
And did you notice on that there's actually, they even have a discounted rate? The 4.75 is their normal charge, and they have a discounted rate for institutions that are metered.
I'm sorry, a 4.
4.75 is the normal
The-
charge rate.
Yep, and then they have, I think it's 3.25 for an establishment that's metered.
How much?
I think it's 3.25.
Well, how come we're using 4? So we want to use 3.25 as our number then?
I don't know if that St. A's actually applies to that or not, so.
Well, they run through a meter.
But whether it's a meter sufficiently accurate for billing,
Yeah, I don't know the answer, whether they would charge them the.
Well, how does Manchester charge their sewer customers that have a water service?
They base it off of cubic feet of water.
Right. So water in, sewer out. So it's pretty standard if they take water from Goffstown, which is not metered by Manchester, but Manchester
It is
Water Works
metered.
They have
by Manchester Waterways.
It's metered because they have a water tower. So it's metered at the water tower through the water department.
Well, I think we need to get that data as well for our,
I don't know if we can get that. I
Well,
don't know if
why?
we can get the water data.
from whom? From St. A's or from the Manchester Water Department?
I think we would have to, St. A's isn't gonna give that up. We'd have to, I can reach out to Manchester Water and see if they'll give up that information.
If they don't, we can just tell St. A's we're using the Manchester formula for cubic feet, and so water in, water out.
That might be, we might lose money doing that.
Well,
Depending on,
let's put it this way. If we're asking them to use our chart and not charge them for all the extras, and we're asking for 170,000, but if we use their own data with the water out, it's 230,000, but that's at 425, that's not at 325.
Yeah.
So Dave's gonna have to do a recal. Go ahead,
Okay,
Dave.
let me pick up the discussion. I just covered how if Corey's 5-day observation was the basis for billing, it would be 148 units times whatever the price is, 148 times whatever the price is. But if you use $4.25, it's 230,000. I would feel more comfortable under that scenario because that meter, we have monthly bills from Manchester as the flow through that meter.
yep,
I took the difference between 12 months of flow, which therefore takes into account hardly anything in the summertime and peak loads during the school year. Tim, that amounts to the average flow of the billable units was 95, not 148, but 95 billable units times whatever the
Well,
rate is.
I just did it on 148, so you got 95 now?
Yes, that's based on a 12-month flow, which is justified by the bills we received from Manchester. So that, that's an independent party noting what the flow is, and it's documented in paperwork. I feel much more comfortable falling on my sword using that type of documentation. So,
That number comes up to 112,693 at 325,
well, okay.
which is slightly
fine.
more than what we're getting right now.
Yes, because I multiplied that by 425, and it's 147,000.
At this point, as much as I appreciate everyone's input, I'm wondering if we need to engage Mike Services to prepare a report for us. So we have our data all aligned from our PE consulting engineer. Or we want to wait and see how they react to us first before we do that. Because they are going to engage an attorney. Maybe because they don't understand it and they want an attorney to explain it to them.
I haven't heard anything back. They said I'd hear something.
Maybe they're
Yeah,
watching
last week
TV
or
right
this
now and
week.
seeing what's going on. Well, we can only hope. But I want to be fair and equitable, but I want it backed up by data. Dave is providing a lot of data for us to work on. But I think it could be construed as we are doing our own calculating, so we have an agenda, do our own calculated. I think as a professional engineer and as a consulting engineer, I think Mike's services would be best engaged because he is going to do an impartial report based on the data for us, like he always does. And if it costs us a few bucks to have you do it, I'm good with it.
Okay. If we go as, for this particular customer, billing on a flow, that would be an unusual situation for all our
Absolutely.
all our other customers. And once, just as I said earlier, the equitable system that we employ for fair billing of all our customers, whether you go under or over that equitable value, it's the same theoretical load for equitable distribution to everybody.
Hi, folks.
Hi.
You're here for the sewer commissioners meeting?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, we're here for the planning board meeting.
That's Thursday night.
Oh,
We're very interested in what you do.
Go.
If you'd love to talk about sewerage with us, you're welcome to. Dave, I concur. I think we should stick to our table of values and just point our guns at the table, because that's how we, if fair and
Everybody.
equitable, that's how everyone else in Towns build. If we make a change, as Dave is saying, and start using their flow, we're opening ourselves up to anybody who wants to start giving us flow data and challenging their bills.
Yeah, the other thing is that if you do that, then you may also have to change your rates to guarantee that you get the revenue that you need.
I envision that it might be practical for the commission to entertain that we do enter into a 10-year agreement that would perhaps satisfy some goals of St. Anselm's, that whatever treatment units we select, that could be a fixed rate for 10 years, independent of whatever growth they experience, if it doesn't exceed, like, if they don't, right now there are 2,000 students. But that could be a fixed rate as long as your students don't exceed 2,400. And we'll give you that fixed rate for 10 years. You do any sort of construction you want. If your students don't exceed 2,400, that's the fixed rate for 10 years. And they may feel comfortable with a fixed billing structure.
All right, well, we can have that discussion when Daniel's here as well.
And I'm not sure if you're serious about engaging Mike, but there's other considerations in this particular customer that we don't have with any of our other customers. If the amount of treatment units that we bill for, it could be the equivalent of 475, how many treatment units do we
You said
bill for?
4.
275. You know, excuse me, but if you were to equate that into residential houses, you're talking about a road that's like 4 miles long with houses every 150 feet. We would get that amount of money from all these customers, but we would have the expense of maintaining 4 miles of trunk line, presumably maybe even a pump station, if we were to get the same amount of income from
Not
all
doing
those,
anything.
all those residential homes. So that's an expense that we don't face with this customer. So, you know, that could be,
We could take that into
that could be the
consideration.
basis of how maybe we could offer a discount too.
We'll have to discuss that.
Their flow, their lateral coming out of their home goes straight into Manchester.
Except for the other customers that are out on Daniel, on St. Anne's Drive, right? They own a lot of other buildings out on
But
St.
they're
Anne's Drive.
built, they're built independently.
But they don't, they're independent billing?
Yeah.
There's 8 other parcels.
So the main bill we're discussing is the bill for the campus that goes through the meter.
Correct.
All right, well, we have more to discuss, obviously, and your ideas are on the table, and we'll discuss them.
But you can imagine the expense of this commission if we were to have 4 or 5 miles of main trunk in various streets. Maybe a pumping station.
I would counter that with any new construction is all PVC pipe. PVC pipe is maintenance-free other than flushing. There's no sags or dips or roots or any of that business going on, so it would be a much lower cost for the maintenance than it would be. And a pump station, that's another subject. The commission would have to have a pretty serious discussion with any developer who wants to put a pump station online and hand it off to us. That would be a discussion that would have to take place, because do we want another pump station that we have to maintain? I really don't think so. We've almost had one at Miller's Landing on Goffstown Back Road there on Center Street, Elm Street, except that the developer canceled it. Too expensive from the
I
building.
simply wanted to bring to the table the idea that this one customer,
Yep.
we don't have miles of trunk line that we have to maintain and clean annually before the flow reaches the treatment center.
Point taken. All right, so we'll conclude this with nothing actually happening tonight. We're gonna wait for Daniel to be here and wait for them to respond to our request. I do think that if they do not respond by our next meeting, I think we'd be well within our rights to make a decision and send them a bill for the appropriate amount. Now, is their new sewer bill going out? Once they get a sewer bill, that's for the next 6 months, right, Lynn?
The bill they're getting tomorrow, the one that's going out tomorrow, is for July 1st through December 31st of this year.
That's right. So we bill in arrears.
Mhm.
So when we send our bill out in June?
June, that would be for January 1st through
So
June 30th.
that could be when we would change their rate at that point and charge them a new rate 6 months from now. Okay. All right, good to know. Sewer use fees, Dave.
Mr. Chairman, we had a workshop on the 17th of October, and in that workshop, we supported the idea of raising our use fee, and effective with the 2024 billing. The reason for that was because of deficit spending for the last 2 years, and if that deficit spending continues, our reserve fund, which is supposed to be held for emergency sewer projects, would be depleted. So consequently, it would be appropriate for the commission to raise the use fee so that the reserve fund does not go broke. In that workshop, we felt that a raise of $50 per month for the initial year would be appropriate. And we also discussed potential fees that would be raised in the future years, gradually going to nothing after a couple of years.
$50 a
$50.
period, not a month. $50 per pay
$50
cycle.
for the year.
For the
rate-
whole year or for every 6
The
months?
rate would go from 400 to 450
Oh, okay.
for treatment units.
So $25 each quarter, right?
That's right.
Each billing period.
I'd like to make a motion that commencing with the first bill in 2024, that the use fee be based on $450 a year for a treatment unit.
And does that follow, and then, how does that follow the table that we discussed where it was going to be a declining amount? That's going to, that will be enacted?
We can't make a motion for the future boards, so we can only make a motion for this next billing cycle.
But this was the proposed increases as we went
Yes.
down the line every year.
And
At what year does their bill double, Dave?
after 10 years, it goes up to $690 under this scheme. Well, actually, it
So it
reaches...
doesn't actually double?
It doesn't.
No.
It-
Okay. That's good.
In, I have I'm looking for something that I wrote concerning this. Excuse me for a moment. Lynn, I had a letter which was the proposed letter to send to all our customers.
Is this it? Did you
Yes.
send me a draft of? Because I
Yes,
never wrote my
yes,
email.
thank you. What I'm looking for there is that I like, this motion is only for the next year's bill. And in the letter, we would explain that the 12.5% rate increase for '24 is the first in a series of planned annual increases, that the follow-on increases are tentatively estimated to be 7% initially and winding down to 4%. However, the actual rate would be set each November by the, for the following.
So are you saying we should have a letter with this text in with this month's bill?
It's, yes.
Not this month's bill, because those are
No,
going out
no,
tomorrow.
this is a separate first-class letter
Separate first-class letter.
mailed to all
That's what I
customers.
thought.
Okay.
So,
Yes, I think.
we announce the increase, we tell them how to figure it. We warn them then that this is just the first of a planned series, but the actual rates won't be set until November of each year.
So when will they see a 12% increase on their bill?
With the May, first
The
June.
June invoice.
So they'll actually see half of that in the year
Yeah,
of
so
2024.
their June invoice will be for $225. And then the December one would be for $225.
And
So
all
for
of
a total of
these,
$450.
all of these proposed rates that we discussed in the workshop, they're all divisible by 2.
Mhm.
So you actually will recoup the 12%, 12.5% during the May and December billings. That's when that 1 year's worth of increase
Right.
will come in.
Right, so at the end of next year, you'll have the,
Discuss it again.
They all won't come in the same fiscal year.
right, they won't, but
So-
they'll be billed in the physical year.
Dave, I'm sure you can provide a draft of that letter to us that just has that particular text only so that we can look at it and then Lynn can have it, get it ready and she can send it out as soon as she can get a first-class letter together, send it out.
I don't anticipate making any more changes to this draft letter.
But you're not gonna send all of this.
Yes,
Oh, this whole letter?
yes.
And the
Oh,
second page, too.
The second page is an option.
No,
This
we
is
don't
a-
need that.
this
That-
is a-
That's gonna be confusing.
No, well, this is an opportunity to provide information to all our customers about the sewer department. We have never had this opportunity before. This was in the town report.
All right, if this was in the town report, then they've already had a chance to see it. No
But
harm done.
very few voters pick up that town report. Jim. So I know this is an opportunity to educate our customers about the complexities of the sewer department and what, we
Okay.
shouldn't-
So you're not gonna be able to get that down, because like I said, this is 2 pages. I'm gonna have to fold all the different pages and
Don't
then,
bother us with the mechanics of.
What's the
stuffing
problem
in
with
them.
folding paper and sticking it in an envelope?
no, I'm just saying that's double. The 2 pages, I asked him if you could try to keep it down to 1 instead
No,
of having to
it's gonna
put
be
the
2
2.
pages.
But I told him, there's no way I'll have time to do that in the month of December, because all the bills are going out, and then they all come back in
You
December.
can do it in January.
Okay, that's
We
as long
want
as
it-
I
we
can
want
go
it
in
sent out
January.
Multiple months ahead of the June
Okay,
billing.
as long as it can wait till January, because December is... all the
Bills go
bill-
out and money comes in.
Yeah, and I spend all day long just entering all the payments in.
So, I made a motion to raise the annual treatment unit rate from 400 to 450.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
Okay, thank you,
Motion
Mr. Chair.
passes.
And I agree that this letter should be sent in January.
And I agree as well. We'll have Lynn print this
Thank
letter.
you.
And it's not gonna be signed, you're just gonna put my name at the bottom.
Okay.
Do we offer them an opportunity to ask questions in your letter, Dave, anywhere? To come to a meeting or anything like that? Or questions can be,
That could be another paragraph, that the sewer commission meets on such and such day each month, if you'd
I
like.
think we should provide an avenue for them to ask questions. So if you could just give a copy of that paragraph to Dave before you print it, and Dave can look at it and make sure it's the way it should be.
So
Because
for
you
the-
have more information about the sewer department, you found it on the website, blah, blah, blah. And you could just simply say,
Yeah.
any questions could be answered at the monthly sewer meeting at 6 o'clock on the second Tuesday of the month, or third Tuesday, whatever the Tuesday is. But at least give them an avenue to ask a question should they want more information.
So the year 2024, from January 1st to December 31st, the treatment unit rate is $4.50.
Yep.
Mhm.
Just because calculating any new projects, just want to make sure I have it right.
This is the first
This,
little deposit in the big
Remember,
bank.
Corey, in that 10-year modeling of cash flows, I basically started with a $600,000 project each year. And then I increased that every year by, I forget, 4 or 5%. But it did, that was the modeling of how much we would spend each year.
Well, I, for one, am impressed with the,
And the whole purpose is that our operational budget would hover at the end of every year around 300,000. And then our reserve fund would hover at the end of every year at about 3 million. And that 3 million, under this model, wouldn't go down to 0 in 6 years. It would stay relatively high. And effectively, you know, that's we self-insure
yeah.
for an emergency, and that's what that reserve fund is.
And there's the state's loan fund, the, what is it, the NHDES has a fund you can borrow from for projects. I don't know what it's called,
State revolving fund.
the revolving fund.
Yeah.
We needed money, we can always borrow from the revolving fund, so it's not a problem. All right. I'm actually pleased at how the bid came in for our project on Albert Street. I'm shocked that it's,
Me too.
and especially since Green was right in the ballpark with them.
Yeah.
I expected that we were gonna have a low ball and some middle of the roaders and a high ball, and sometimes you throw the high and low out, and you pick from the middle. But that's not the case. We got 3 that are in the 200 change range, and 1 in the stratosphere, which is Captain Kirk. So, I'm glad it worked out as well as it did, Mike. So let's work on that good karma for the next project and get that underway. If there's anything you can get done before the snow flies, get a contract for us to begin your work, so we can sign a contract and have something to work with, so you're not having things done without a contract in place. Corey? Mike? Anything else, Dave, for this meeting that's not on the agenda?
That's it, sir.
Where's my agenda? Oh, it is. Corey, do you have anything?
Wait
Wait a minute.
I would like, Lynn, on your minutes, about the discussion of raising the use fee. Add one more sentence in there, in that this use fee amount was the subject of a workshop, and that workshop was attended by all the commissioners.
Yeah, well, that's already in the
I-
first sentence, you said that at first.
Yeah, thank you.
It says workshop on 217 supported idea of increasing user fees effective with 2024 billing.
I am presenting our budget on Thursday, November 30th to the Budget Committee. No one else needs to come unless they want to come and be punished, like I have to get the Budget Committee asking questions, which are normally very good. So I don't want to take another night out of the schedule that doesn't feel the need to.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me,
Not you,
what-
Lynn.
What evening was that, Tim?
Thursday, November 30th. It's the week after our second planning meeting. But it is the Budget Committee meeting, and it is at the GHS Library Media Center. And I am going to be first on the,
Yes,
I'm going to be first, I believe.
yes, they want us to.
Yeah, they
do
usually
that
let us
first.
go first because we're just a
Quick.
short representation after the three big departments get in there and give theirs. I just want to make sure we're all set before we agree to move here tonight.
Anything else on the agenda?
Not on the agenda, but sometimes it rolls around in my mind and I try to remember.
Then in
Quick,
case-
make a motion.
In case, so nothing rolls around any further, motion to adjourn.
Motion has been in second, motion discussion,
Yeah.
seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstention. Thank you, GTV, we're done.